Let's talk about A Natural History of Dragons by Marie Brennan. For those of you that don't know, this is obviously a fantasy book, but the entire shtick of this book is that it's written as a memoir by a character living in this fantasy world. Specifically, it's a memoir of the most notable dragon scholar of this world. And this book is about how she became that scholar. And it specifically focuses on the first few chapters of her life where she began to explore dragons and her scholarship of them. I'll be honest, going into this, I thought it was a standalone. It is most definitely not. It is far from a complete memoir of this character's life. I'm not sure how many sequels are planned, but there will be sequels. I'm sorry to say that I'm not going to be reading them. While I can understand the appeal of this book, especially for people who really like to read memoirs and historical fantasy, it just wasn't for me. The tone of the book didn't seem to match the plot of the book and the themes of the book. Obviously, as a memoir, it dealt with a lot of personal and emotional issues, which again doesn't really match the scholarly tone of the book. Despite being named A Natural History of Dragons, surprisingly little of the plot actually had to do with dragons. To be fair, tangentially, the entire plot does revolve around dragons. I just again found the promise of the title to not have been met by the actual content of the book. About halfway through the book, it just turns into a straight up murder mystery, and I think you go like over 100 pages without even seeing a dragon. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It just felt like what was promised was not what was delivered. Maybe that'll be better in sequels, but I just didn't enjoy this book enough to pick up the sequels. All that being said, I would still give this like a 6.5 to a 7 out of 10. It's a solid book. It accomplishes what it sought out to do in terms of being a memoir in a fantasy world. So if what I've described about the book sounds interesting to you, give it a shot. It is worth a read, especially because of how unique it is. Now drop a follow and go subscribe on YouTube or else.